Hello, everybody. Welcome in, Grass Champ. Welcome in. Welcome in, Omar. Welcome in, everybody. How are all of you guys doing today? Hope y'all doing good. I certainly know I am. Let's get union circling. I'm going to be working on the oddish outbreak I have presently in the coastal biome. So I'm going to be working on there. I'm doing very well today, Reeves. Doing very, very well. Hello there, Nico. Yeah, you popped into the chat literally right as we closed the Union Circle yesterday. But now hopefully you'll be able to get in. Hopefully today you will be able to enter the Union of Circle. Hello there, Forehead. Welcome in, Christopher Staley. How are you doing? And again, if you guys haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Union Circle-y things. I'm slowly working on the progress for my other videos. The thing about the best way of grinding materials to chuck into the item printer. That's going very, very, very well. I'm able to further optimize the strategy. It's going well. But
hello there, dear Floorhead. How do you do? As well as all of the other wonderful, wonderful viewers out today. Hello, friends. I am less sick, but have no voice today, so genuinely can't yell at me today. Oh no, such a shame. We don't need to hear the short New Jerseyan yelling. F's in the chat, everyone.
hello there, it's Wild. How are you doing? It's every Tuesday. Every Tuesday we do an early stream. Because at night on Tuesday, we do a voice call with the father. And that is at the exact same time we are streaming normally. So, yeah, that's why. When Pokemon material video be out. No clue. See, the main issue is that I don't have space on my PC for it. That's kind of the main problem. I'm starting to like Roaring Moon, but can't find anything good with them. Knockoff is very good on Roaring Moon. Knockoff is very, very good on Roaring Moon. I'm also used to being at 8 and don't usually watch on Tuesdays. Interesting. Interesting, weird. Now there's getting frame drops. Weird. Alright, let's go. First Union Circle of the day. Remember, we do Union Circles every basically sandwich or so. Get a rotation, but generally every hour or so we do a new Union Circle. Oh, other Pokemon. Okay. I'm not really sure I'd be able to help with that. I mean, a Moongus is probably a pretty good pick for it. Because a Moongus just goes very well with most things. Get a Pokemon to go to them. Alright. So remember the one rule of the Union Circle. We try to stay dispersed from one another, so that way we don't get spawn interference. I am going to be working on this. Yes. Steel type. Yeah, steel types work generally very, very well with it. But there's not many very good steel types at the moment. Like, Heatran probably is the best one, but ever since Ogerpon Fire became a thing that exists, Heatran, aka Melty Face, has kind of started to not only fall off, but it's become a little bit less good, I guess is the better way of phrasing things. Okay, we are getting frame drops. Weird. Strange. Iron Crown. I mean, that's also a possibility. But Iron Crown's got a kind of a bad typing is kind of an issue. Like, Psychic and Steel isn't bad, but it's not as good as it used to be. Alright, let's get destroying some Oddish. Let's hunt down all of these Kanto stuff. Pokemon, that's the challenge. Iron Crown's not a legendary. Paradox Pokemon are not legendaries. So there's no need to worry. Yes, even though they are paradoxes of legendary Pokemon, they are not themselves legendary Pokemon. Not Heatran. Well, it's Heatran. There's only one T. Why would anyone say Heatran? There's a singular T. That is an objectively incorrect thing. Not really. Roaring Moon and Iron Crown have the exact same base stat total. Even, I believe actually regular Cobalion actually has a lower stat line than even the pseudo-legendaries. They actually are very different. They are not the same. Metagross is more bulky, Metagross is more offense-oriented. I believe actually Bronzong does not have actually higher bulk and raw stats than Metagross. It's just the way people spec it. They spec it into bulk more than they spec Metagross into bulk. Thank you, wrong whole time. Well, I mean, the name comes from heat transfer, but it's not heat. It's Heatran. It's Heatran, not Heatran. It just depends on the accenting of the thing. But yeah, no, it's not a legendary. None of the Paradox Pokemon are legendaries. The exception is Miraidon and Koraidon are both Paradox Pokemon and legendaries, but they are also box art restricted legendaries, which is their own official separate category. I go by the official categorization of things, like legendaries and Ultra Beasts are not the same thing. Mythicals are not the same thing as legendaries. And I go by official categorization. Very good, a Flutter Mane, but want something different. I think you're gonna kind of be a little hard pressed to find a good fairy that isn't Flutter Mane. Because it's Flutter Mane. There's very few other good fairy types whose names are not Flutter Mane. Heatran? Never heard of that one, Amazon. Ah, the Drift Veil music. They ruin original for me? What do you mean by that? They ruin original. Zacian is pretty good. Zacian is banned in the present format. Even if he didn't have reservations on using legendaries, Zacian is outright banned in the present format. Which I'm okay with. No lightning, so I guess very bad. Get nerfed. Yeah, Zacian did actually get nerfed pretty hard. So it did definitely get taken down a couple of pegs. But if you're looking for a fairy type, your options are more or less Flutter Mane and kind of that's it. You're not really gonna find too many other things that are good fairy types that are not Flutter Mane. Unless you're using a Terrastalize into fairy type, which at that point that's kind of a very heavy cost because you have to Terrastalize for it. Which oftentimes is worth less than the Terrastalization's cost is good for. Yeah, Flutter Mane is a fairy type. It's Fairy Ghost. I don't like using less and less Azelf, something like that. Well, yeah, see, Azelf is a different category of legendary Pokemon. When it comes to legendaries, the legendaries is the big giant umbrella term that's everything from like Zapdos to Raikou to the big box arts like Zekrom and Miraidon and Koraidon and Groudon. But within that legendary category, there is the legendaries, which are things like Zapdos, Suicune, Raikou, the Ruins legendaries from Scarlet Violet, Uxie, Mesprit, Azelf, the things that are 600 BST or lower legendaries, which are really not much different than regular Pokemon. If you made something like Cresselia or Landorus, the end of a 3-stage evolutionary chain, nobody would have any issues with them existing. It's just because that buzzword of legendary is plastered across them, they become a very easy target for hate. Because, oh, legendary means strongest, when in a lot of cases they're really not much different than regular non-legendaries. But then there is the big box art legendaries, the officially termed restricted legendaries. More or less, these are any legendaries above a base stat total of like 660. Exception being Regigigas, because Regigigas has slow starter, which kneecaps ability. And then there's the whole can of worms that are the mythical Pokemon. Also, Ultra Beasts and Paradoxes are not legendaries, by official terminology. Hello there, welcome in, John Johnson. Hello there, Mr. Timmy. Thank you, I didn't do anything to my hair today. I never do anything to my hair any day. But how are you doing, Timmy? Can one of the mods please go grab Timmy B's link, please? How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Timmy? Hope you're doing good. That's also pretty good. Well, Whimsicott's support. Whimsicott does very, very different things than a traditional fairy type. It's much more in line with a support user like, say, Tailwind on Murkrow, or Grimmsnarl, where you use Spirit Break for Grimmsnarl, but you're primarily having Grimmsnarl there as a Pokemon to set up screens, Thunder Wave, possibly Fake Out. You're not really using Grimmsnarl as mainline damage. Thanks for Tailwind and Taunt. But also worth noting, a lot of the Pokemon you want to be taunting are actually themselves going to be Dark-type or Terastallized Dark-type, which does kind of completely mitigate the benefits of the Prankster Taunt using. Also on meta, what do you think of my team? Skeledirge, Ogerpon, Walking Wake, Annihilate, Ursaluna. Little bit of weakness overlap on that lineup. A little bit of weakness overlap and not very much speed. May want to retool so that, because you don't really have a Trick Room setter. But also it depends on what the items and EV distributions are, as well as natures. Because just Pokemon on their own do not make a team. The stat lines and items are important for that. Still fair. Yes, it is still fairy, but generally when you want a Pokemon as a certain typing, you generally want it to be in the offensive or defensive roles, which Whimsicott is not really capable of fulfilling either of those. Alright, Duraludon. Also, if anyone wants to just grind a whole bunch of Duraludon Tarnish for materials, would recommend just going and fighting any of the Duraludon outbreaks. They are infinite. When you're in Union Circle, they will be infinite outbreaks for you guys. You can just KO them as many as you want, and you don't need to fear dropping the outbreak into non-existence. Yes. Yeah, Grimmsnarl is, I think, the closest I would say to a support fairy that can do the traditional fairy roles. And a large part of that comes down to Spirit Break being a quite good move. But even then, it does kind of skirt that line a little bit. It's kind of a real gray zone. Magby eggs. Yes. But you don't have the outbreaks for Magby and the eggs. Because there's Dura outbreaks everywhere. You know, you can force concentrated Duraludon spawns that you can just beat the living stuffing out of over and 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 over again. Which is easy. But yeah, eggs are pretty much one of the best ones to go for. Magby, same thing. You generally want to go for Magmar, because Magmar drops more materials. You get like, what, 1 or 2 Magby hair for every Magby you take down. But if you take out a Magmar, you can get either 3 or 4 material drops. So it's overall much more efficient. Vastly more efficient. And after all, efficiency is #1 priority here. Maybe Magby is isolated with Fire Sandwich in the Labyrinth? Are you sure? I thought I saw some Fire-type starters in the Labyrinth as well. Or have you not upgraded your biomes yet? Because I'm fairly certain the starters are inside of the tunnels. But also when you're inside the tunnels, it's a much more confined space, so you get overall less spawns. Again, this is one of the reasons why we're working on that massive comprehensive video that is all about the best material grinding ways, because certain things give off better rewards, but they may not make the sheer spawns available. Like, I can go out and fight a single 30-minute encounter power level 1 normal sandwich of the Happini family, and I go from 0 Happini dust to over 620 Happini dust in a single half-hour session. And that's amazing. Whereas, like, Magby hair could also be easier to get by going into the tunnel and fighting the Magby, but if the cramped space slows down your ability to actually get the knockouts at a relatively quick pace. Which is why I'm doing a whole bunch of samplings. Like, I've fought that Chansey thing a couple of different times, probably 8 times so far, and it's very consistently upper 500s at minimum and low 600s at max, as opposed to something else where I've run a couple of other sandwiches and get, 600 as in 600, like, 12 Happini dust. Because I freaking over numbers into oblivion. I have an unhealthy obsession with numbers. Hello, Roost and Nafy, how are you doing? Hope you're doing delightful. Also, what is shiny? I don't even remember what shiny Oddish looks like. Steel's got good mods. Find which one's like. Oh, yes! I forgot Alola Ninetales. That would probably be a go on Alola Ninetales. Get that Aurora Veil going. Yeah, I honestly forgot A9 existed. You get that Freeze Dry tech. Pretty good. I guess Alola Ninetales could be Freeze Dry, Blizzard, Aurora Veil, Moon Blast. Helping Hand, even. There are shenanigans that could be done with that. Now, granted, it doesn't help you with your Fairy Weakness, but it does have Aurora Veil to give you a little bit of bulk on something. Those don't have that the bones. Also, with the defense boost it actually gets from Snow, it could be relatively solidly bulky, so it's actually a not bad play. Yeah, I still gotta get back to working on my thing. I kind of wonder how just ungodly bulky an Assault Vest Alola Ninetales would be. I mean, you obviously wouldn't run, Aurora Veil on an Assault Vest Ninetales, but I just like to see how it shrugs off damage when you've got that massive physical defense and the massive special defense boost going. Hello, Ahsoka. Also, if anyone wants to form a Union Circle, I'm fairly certain Ahsoka would also like to form another one. Yes, Ahsoka form another Union Circle. We are going to be rotating Union Circles every probably hour or so. So if anyone wants to join in, but you miss out on the first one, and it's going to be a while before you form the second one, always happy to form one with Ahsoka. Yeah, what mon is good? I use Iron Valiant. I find Iron Valiant to be a fairly good Pokemon for auto battles, because it has relatively fast ground movement speed, and it is super effective on something. It's a relatively aggressive Walking Wake may also be good, but Walking Wake I think takes a little bit more damage per battle. You will need to periodically heal up your Iron Valiant. If you are using Iron Valiant to fight your Duraludon, you will need to occasionally heal the Iron Valiant back to full health. But I found it a little bit better than things like Walking Wake. For general outbreaks, my go-to is Iron Leaves. It has some of the fastest ground travel movement speed with a relatively broad spectrum type coverage of neutral damage. And Iron Valiant also one of my good ones, but for Duraludon, there's really not a whole lot that's ideal. Because a lot of ground types tend to be fairly slow. I guess possibly Garchomp could be one. Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me Oddish is a daytime only spawn. Oh, you hacking jackwagon. Okay, no, it's not a daytime only spawn. Okay, I was gonna say. The thing is, Cinderace is not super effective against Dura. You generally want a Pokemon that is super effective against the Pokemon in most cases. Oh, yes, okay, so it's not actually a day on the spawn. Okay, that's good. Yes, Cinderace possibly. For general KOs. But Walking Wake is one that I found is a good general KO user in general, because it has very fast water travel movements because it literally runs on top of the water, and it has good over land movement speed. Iron Leaf is much faster, but it doesn't have the semi-aquatic capabilities that Dino Chicken Nuggy does. Vikavolt. Is Vikavolt fast? Because I've noticed generally Pokemon's land travel movement speed is correlated to their base speed stats in most cases. Ceruledge is not super effective against Dura. You want a fighting or a ground type to face down Dura outbreaks. Or you want a dragon that is not weak to dragon, which is pretty, yeah, which is itself Dura, so. Or Dialga. With Dura, Dialga, or Archaludon. I guess possibly Kommo-o, because Kommo-o is a fighting type. Or possibly Garchomp and Flygon. I haven't tested those yet. Flygon's a maybe. Really? Vikavolt's decently fast? I want to try this. I should have a Vika somewhere. Vikavolt. Vikavolt, we're going to test something. Where is... Go to bag. Oh, yeah, Shiny Oddish sticks out big time. It's like freaking green and bright green and gold. You chug down these rare candies. Because level does matter. Let's see what your speed is. Oh, wow, that's fast. Okay, Buddy is zippy. Okay, I think I found one of my new KO partners. Buddy is actual zip. That's not decently fast. That is extremely fast. Holy crap. How did I never know about this? Oh my gosh, you are amazing, Vikavolt. You're literally like a heat-seeking missile. That's my logic, Ahsoka. But no. Buddy is like zippy. Buddy is actual zip. Like, let's heckin' go. I love Vikavolt. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is delightful. I think I know what my next KO partner is. Yeah, I know Vicabolt's Dex entry says it's really, really fast, but its base speed is so garbo. Like, when have the Dex entries ever been accurate? Thank you very much. I needed this. I needed this in my life. Yeah, it's very slow. It's a very good Trick Room Pokemon. Not really viable in Tailwind, but it's very, very good if you want to go for a Trick Room strategy. You can run Disc Quake next to it. You know, relatively bulky stats, very good offense. It gets Discharge, obviously. It's a Levitator, so it can use Disc Quake shenanigans. I'm not sure how it will fare presently, because there's a lot of good fire types. But it's a relatively solid Pokemon. Hello, TN Titan. Again, that is an absolutely top-tier chef's kiss name right there. Yes, but Vicabolt has very, very good stat efficiency. Ahsoka. That's kind of the biggest strength. Where's a ghost type here? I honestly don't know. Golett. Canyon or Polar Biome, there's a lot of Golett. I know that Rotom is a decent thing to go for, but you can't really find Rotom easily. I would recommend going for a Golett. Golett, which are just all over the thing. Yeah, group photo. All right, everyone converge on me. Oh, yep. Actually, no, it's fine. These are outside of the outbreak radius. Converge on me. I'm going to be over at the plaza. So converge by me at the plaza. So we can take a group photo. Hello, Floorhead. Yes, Floorhead. Okay, so we need 7 more KOs, then we have max outbreaks. It is for me. Absolutely heck you for that meme last night. Which meme? Which one? The Kakyoin one? The Bayonetta legs one? Or the one that I made Mudkip send? Ooh, Shenrikity. Nice. Dona's best interesting. Cinderace. I'll need to go test out Cinderace. Test Cinderace for Dura OB. For a while, I was thinking Ursaluna for Dura outbreaks, but Ursaluna moves very, very, very slowly. Oh, Quaquaval! Ash, if I had to be cursed with seeing that, I needed to make sure everyone else knows too, alright? Everybody, converge. Spice sandwich, hatch an egg. Does someone have an egg that they can hatch? Alright, so who have we got here? Do I have any egg? Do I have any egg? Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is good, but you need to heal it fairly continuously. Okay, yeah, I don't have any eggs. I have no egg. Ash, it's the internet. You should not be surprised by this. You should not be surprised. But it's fun type. The thing is, Iron Valiant is also fairy. You gotta remember, Iron Valiant is fairy fighting. So even though it's super effective against Duraludon's Dragon type, Duraludon's Steel type is super effective to Iron Valiant's Fairy. It's a bit weird when you think about it, but it's like, it does make sense. There is an underlying degree of logic. I think Quaquaval has like a fairly decent movement speed in the overworld. I think it is. Because you gotta remember, when it comes to outbreaks, it defaults to whichever base typings have the best effectiveness against the typings you have. So it's like you can use a... So think of it like this. If you use a Roaring Moon, who is Dark Dragon, against... Guys, the one rule we have here is do not come to an area where someone else is and they are shiny hunting. This is the single solitary warning. If anybody else does this again, the Union Circle will be disbanded. Is that understood? Is that understood? This is the only rule we have when it comes to Union Circles. And if that cannot be followed, then the Union Circle will be disbanded. I know that there is a 6-second latency. So if this is not followed within the next 6 seconds, then the Union Circle will be disbanded for the rest of the stream. If people cannot follow the rules. Is this understood? All right. And disband. We mentioned the rules before the Union Circle even formed. We mentioned these rules before the Union Circle was even formed. As well as several times during the Union Circle. This is the one rule we have, and if that one rule cannot be followed, the Union Circles will be canceled for the rest of the stream. Apologies to everyone else. We will be doing them again tomorrow. So either follow the rules, or there will be no Union Circles. It works the same way with the shiny giveaways. If people get greedy, then this giveaway will be ended. It is not much to ask. I don't think it's much to ask anyway. Okay, we got Vikavolt as a good Outbreak Hunter. Good to know. You're gonna be staying with us for a while, Vikavolt. You are gonna stay with us. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep Baxgal. Baxgal's like good for stuff and things. All right, guys, we are done with the conversation about the Union Circle being over. We are done with that topic now. All right, we're moving on. That is 60 knockouts. Okay, let's switch over to our shiny bin. There we go. Save the game. And picnic. So we're doing poison sandwich, which means 3 servings of green bell pepper. Possibly after this sandwich, I will reopen it. Possibly. Tomato, onion, and then 3 servings of green bell pepper. I think that poison and sour work well. Zero Sword pick. Should I do Dragon only comp team? I would not recommend Dragon only competitive team. Dragon on its own is a very, very bad typing on its own. Like, I mean, you would basically require a Duraludon to be brought every single game, because Fairy is omnipresent. And then I finally got... I have no idea what that means, David. Do you mean you finally got a shiny... shiny Tortuga? Yes, normally Ahsoka does them for BP farming. Again, I do not want to come down harsh and crack down on things, but it is a precedent that needs to be set. Because if people do not follow the rules, and it ruins things for everybody. And we do not like being a dick to other people. But it is important that we follow the rules. Again, in a half hour, we will be opening up the Union Circles again. Good again. Okay, so poison... So I can actually use Sour Herba Mystica with poison sandwiches. Good to know. Deerling, actually heck off. I don't need you. I'm not looking for Deerling. I am looking for Oddish. And occasionally, possibly, shiny, Alolan thing. Alolan Grimer, not Alolan Muck. Yeah, this is why I went for a poison sandwich. I didn't go for a grass sandwich, because I do not want Deerling shiny interference. If I want any shiny spawn interference, I would rather have it be from shiny Alolan Grimer, because I do still kind of need shiny Alolan Grimer. I hate Contrary Spinda. Well, the good thing is, Contrary Spinda is a thing that no longer exists. Because Spinda is... I do have a feeling Spinda is going to basically be blocked from every future game. I kind of have a video I'm working on about that. I don't think Spinda's ever going to be returning in a future game. Just, I think it... At least until they find a way of basically shorthanding its weird programming problem, I don't think it's going to be coming back. For those who don't know, the way that Spinda's programmed is kind of a pain in the gonads, in a technical sense. So it makes sense why they kind of would rather not have it be in games going forward, just because it would kind of be a pain in the butt to continuously have programmed. Although I can't get Gloom spawn interference, which is good, because I do kind of want shiny Gloom. Because I need shine... I've got a shiny Vileplume already. So I need 3 more shiny Oddish to finish the, to pad out the Oddish family. Which is okay for me. I do need that. What's wrong with the way it's programmed? The reason there's something wrong with the way it's programmed is that every single Spinda has a unique pattern, more or less. Its pattern is tied to its individual, like, secret ID. And the problem with that is, it makes every Spinda have a different pattern, which makes big problems when trying to have it be in Pokemon Home. So, there's a ongoing issue with Pokemon Home that it inverts any Spinda's pattern if it's brought into Pokemon Home for a while, which is why it's actually blocked from being able to be deposited in Pokemon Home right now. Because the only game you can get Spinda in that is not a Gen 7 or prior game is BDSP. It was not in It was not in Generation 8 Sword and Shield. It was not in Legends. It's not in this game. And that's very intentional because of the issues with how it interacts with Pokemon Home. Yeah. It's one of the many reasons why I kind of have a... It's one of the reasons why when I say about certain Pokemon things, they're really cool ideas at the time, but they cast very long shadows that are problems that future games need to deal with. It's very much that line from Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. You didn't think... You did something, like, without thinking, you know, should you do this? They did it because they could do this. The whole reason that they did that with Spinda is, well, we have a secret ID and we can have a Pokemon with a bunch of different unique combinations anytime someone gets it. That's a pretty cool idea. Not realizing, okay, let's flash forward 2 decades. Oh, this thing's a massive headache to actually program. And it just completely draws away time from being able to work on other stuff. It dedicates so much more resources to developing unique solutions that could be spent, like, churning out multiple other things. So, very likely, they're either gonna remove Spinda's pattern uniqueness, or they're just never gonna have Spinda back in a game again. Which, either way, I kind of find funny. I have no idea. I'm very, very bad at helping people decide what to shiny hunt. I'm probably like the last person that it's a good idea to ask for advice on what to shiny hunt. Because I don't even decide what I shiny hunt myself. Like, I honestly just go with whatever the thing does for outbreaks. It's the way that I do stuff. I want a pretty hard terror raid. What do you mean? Who does everyone want to do a pretty hard terror raid? I'm not sure I track. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more. And when this sandwich runs out, we will be opening another Union Circle. So if you would like to join a Union Circle, so long as you obey the rules, that'll be a thing that we do. And no shiny. We're still finding so many Deerling, even though we do not have a grass or a normal encounter power sandwich going. That is incredibly disheartening. I do not want any more shiny Deerling. Like, shiny Eevee has topped our chart of the most encountered shiny. And I do not want Deerling trying to claw its way back up to the top. Like, hoof its way back up to the top, I believe is how that would go. 6-star Porygon Z. Ooh, fun. That shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure Iron Hand still bodies that thing with Thunder Punch. Well, then again, if it has, well, does it have adaptability or anything? Or download? Because that case it could be problematic. Duckbot. If I spell stuff, it says, oh, don't worry, it's alright, Nico, we understand. All of us are bad at spelling, so we feel you on that. Like, if people can decipher my typos, I think that they can decipher anything. Ash?
You heckin' quiet down about the Deerling, alright? Dear friend. You can just quiet down right now. Or you will join the Deerling in being defenestrated and thrown out of a window. because we have a zero tolerance policy for deerling at the present moment. And we always will for the foreseeable future. Is that understood?
Yeah, we've gotten, I believe it is 16 shiny deerling. I would only accept one additional shiny deerling. So that way we can officially have more shiny deerling phases than Sly Guy had on phases for his Simp Cat shiny hunt. But that is the only way that I would ever accept additional deerling shiny. That is the only possibility. Because the worst part is, most of those deerling were not even boosted. They were full odds when I was Masuda hatching eggs. That is what sucks. It wasn't even like I got them while doing grass or doing normal encounter power sandwiches for the vast majority of them. There were a few that I got from grass or normal encounter power, grass or normal sparkle power sandwiches, not encounter power. I know one of them I got from the Vigoroth outbreak. One of them was my Slackoth outbreak. But that is 2 of the total 14 phases, because we did need 2 shiny deerling for the living shiny decks. So, of the phases, 12 remaining ones, because of course there we had 16 deerling in total. Take away the 2 we needed, take away the 2 that were the full odds one, the 2 sandwich ones. In total, that was 12. In total, that was 12 non-boosted shinies, which is just What's the recall glitch? Oh, when your Pokemon just like stand there like a freaking statue. I still don't know what the heck that is. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's like there's an exhaustion stat that Pokemon have when doing auto battle mode that you gradually burn that down as time goes on. Because I have noticed if I save the game and I start KOing stuff, and then that happens, if I shut the game off and I turn it back on, it's completely gone. And if I like switch to a different Pokemon without resetting the game, the same thing sort of doesn't happen. But I don't know what that is or why it keeps happening. I have to think it's gotta be some sort of like hidden stat that is like exhaustion. Because for those who don't know, back in the Smash Brawl, Pokemon trainers Charizard, Squirtle, and Ivysaur, if they remain outside of their Pokeball without switching, they actually will deal less damage and take more damage as time progresses. I believe it is after about a minute without switching, they will start dealing less and taking more damage. And I'm wondering if maybe there's a hidden stat like that in there somewhere. But we haven't found anything in the data mining, so we don't know. I just put another Pokemon in the first in the party. Yeah, that's generally what I do, and that generally fixes it. But I like having my Iron Valiant as my lead slot just in the event I find my shiny, because it has my False Swipe and my Hypnosis use. Though I probably should get a Breloom for that. Because Breloom is... in most cases, I would say Breloom is probably the best shiny hunter Pokemon, because it gets False Swipe, but it gets a perfectly accurate Sleep Move and Spore. Granted, you can't use it against Grass types or Overcoat users, but... well, Sap Sipper uses too. But those are significantly less common. And even then, if you're going up against a Pokemon that has an ability that blocks status moves or sleep moves, you can only just tag along a Toedscruel, because Mycelium might bypass his abilities. The problem with Smeargle is in the higher level areas like this, Reeves, even a level 100 Smeargle, its stats are garbage. So it can easily get game-ended by Pokemon. And it still doesn't get around the issue of Overcoat and Grass types. So it is still better to have a different backup. Back in the early days, it definitely was a better Pokemon to use when the max level of stuff you'd be shiny hunting was maybe 40s, maybe 50s, depending. But now you're going up against, like, mid-level 70s Pokemon, and if they've got relatively decent stats, they can very easily game end something like a Smeargle, even outspeed it. Use True. Soak, that is true. But the issue with the Soak is that you have to run Smeargle for that, and Smeargle can get very easily game ended. So it can work, but it can also get game ended easily. Yeah, that is one edge, though, Smeargle does get, which I will say, I agree. Also, why is my analytics board down? Analytics is not working at present. Ah, there we go. It's up and running. Once again. Yeah, again, in the older games, definitely Smeargle was a far better pick. But now it's just, the stats have really turned against it. Actually, let me go, what is Smeargle's BST? I'm curious on this now. Yeah. I do like that Smeargle's a dog, apparently. It's like it's a beagle, I think. Which I'm still like, I don't see how it's a dog. It's like a French dog or something. It's like French because it's the like beret. I think it's a beret. I thought that was a shiny Oddish for a second. I was deceived. It was deceptive. But there are no shinies in the world. Ah, didn't fly. Dang it. Oh yeah, this controller actually like almost gave me a heart attack earlier this week because it wasn't connecting to the Switch. So you may not be able to, there's a little light right there. And that light was like coming out, I was plugging in the controller, that light was flashing on and then just immediately blinking out. And it kept doing that. And I was like, okay, this is getting worrying. And eventually what I did was I just hard shut my Switch down, unplugged the controller, turned it back on, plugged in the controller, same thing happened. So then I unplugged the thing, hard shut the Switch down again, turned it back on, then hard turned the Switch off again, plugged in the controller, then turned it back on, and then it started working. I spent like an hour just futzing around with this stupid thing, and eventually, because I was worried maybe I need to buy a new wired Pro controller, which, after having to drop the huge chunk of change on getting Pokemon White 2, I was, like, after having to buy Pokemon White 2, which was $160, then having to buy 2 spare 3DS XL batteries, because Nintendo online, Nintendo.com, they are actually selling spare 3DS batteries and 3DS XL batteries once again for a limited time. Because again, they're going to be like discontinuing formally like all 3DS support. So they want to, give people a chance of replacing their batteries to prolong their lifespan. So I got 2 of those, and those was like $40. And I was like, oh, I really, really don't want to have to burn through even more. I don't want to have to go buy another controller on top of all of that. Because I can't really use the janky wireless controller, because that one doesn't really like to cooperate a lot. It's very temperamental. And I reserve the 2 pristine Joy-Cons and the pristine Gyro Turbo controller for only very special purposes. The pristine Joy-Cons, those are only coming out when I go to regional events. Those are not to basically leave the no dust zone. Oh wow, Smeargle's stats are even worse than I thought. 250 VST. Yeah, like no HP, no defense. Yeah, that thing really cannot go toe-to-toe against a loud... Shiny! Wait, you get memento! Oh, you can self-game, and I'm not risking that. I know this thing gets memento. I completely forgot Buddy can game end himself. You're not even the shiny we're looking for, too. Full odds. Where is my Goldengo? Where is my Goldengo? Goldie, Goldengo. Goldiengo, let's go. I don't quick ball. We here are luxury balls. The thing is, even if the quick ball doesn't work, then it's gonna go memento kaboom. I don't run that risk. That's a risk I don't take. But we got it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, Master Ball. I mean that you're not wrong on that. But I have a no Master Ball policy. The funny thing is, I got like 2 more Master Balls this morning when I was just item printing. So I really do have nothing to use the Master Ball on. I just find it funny that I keep accumulating them. Maybe I'll end up using the Master Ball on some other Pokemon. Like maybe some of the legendaries just to reset for IVs. But I don't know, it's weird using the Master Ball on things. After, what, over a decade of active non-use of the Master Ball? For those who don't know, the only time I would ever use the Master Ball was when catching the roaming legendary Pokemon in any of the games. Because I would just always use to do that, because they frickin' suck an egg. You know, catching the roaming legendaries can actually suck a railroad spike. So after, like, the roaming legendaries just went away permanently, I was like, well, I don't use the Master Ball as is, and it just sits in all of my versions. Hey, Lexi, how are you doing? Can one of the mods please go grab Beacon of Lexi's channel link, please? How you doing, Lexi? How you doing, dear friend Lexi? It was gonna struggle itself because I couldn't run Union Circle. Once I Master Ball, let's go for 20 BP. It was gonna struggle itself. Be like, ah, you know, that makes sense. Yeah, that is a good alternative for Master Balls, just accumulate them just in case. Because you never know when shenanigans can happen. There is one planned usage I do have for a Master Ball, and that is when we get around to shiny hunting Arceus back in BDSP. I will try to go for our usual luxury ball. Because again, we are big fans of the tried and true classic luxury ball. But I have a Master Ball on standby if the emergency presents itself where it will struggle itself down. Because that Arceus is a full odds shiny hunt. And I do not want to need to hunt that thing twice. Because I won't feel too bad about having to Master Ball the Arceus for 2 reasons. You can't use Arceus in VGC, which I like having my shinies coordinated into luxury balls because when I use them in competitive, I want everything to be, you know, styled thematically. There's a few Pokemon that I have in Pokeballs other than the luxury ball for my shinies, but in general, they all go luxury ball. But you can't use Arceus in competitive because it's a mythical. Mythicals are flat banned. So I wouldn't feel too bad. The second part is Arceus to pan the gonads to catch, because it's like level 80. And there's a practicality concern to it. There is the flex potential, but practicality will always come into play. Unlike something like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, where you can use Roto Catch to actually make stuff significantly easier to catch. You don't have that with Arceus. So, it's the struggle. Can I eat? You can eat, Jade! I'm glad to see you here, everybody. Exploding rocks that are shiny. Well, that's what we use Golduck for. We do not allow the rocks to perform a self-exit game. But Metal War, how have you been? It has been a while. How you doing, Kayla? Hope you're doing well as well. Anytime one of these little screwballs pops and I keep thinking they're shiny, they are not. I do like Alola Muck. I do like that one. It is kind of funny. Basically, every single Pokemon that has every Kanto Pokemon that is a regional variant of it, I basically like the regional variant more than I actually like the base form from Kanto. Like, the only sort of one is, to a degree, Persian Alola Persian. But even I don't really like either of them. Berserker's where it's at, though. Berserker is literally Metal Viking Cat. Which is, as we say, metal. Big fan of my metal machines. Anyway, go for the next shiny stream. Definitely isn't on January 12th. I think I have more Pokemon Funny. Is it on January 12th? Fun. Fun. Yeah, we're gonna be doing sporadic shiny giveaway streams in the future. I haven't figured out the exact schedule yet. Metal Viking Cat. Exactly. See, I'm a dog person IRL. You know, I have... Let me go grab a picture of the Fluffos. I am very much a dog person over a cat person. But I do like the Metal Viking Cat. Because Metal Viking Cat is absolutely metal as heck. Hello, lady. How are you doing? Hope you are doing very well. There are a few cat Pokemon I do like, which is, it's funny that I'm not a cat person, but yet the college I went to, the mascot is a cat. It was a lion, which, I mean, lions are awesome. So, like, the cat Pokemon I like, we got Incineroar, we got Berserker, we got, to a degree, Shenpao. Like, I do like Shenpao, because it's just so absolutely brutal aggressive. Solgaleo, I mean, obviously Solgaleo is awesome. This lion, again, pretty awesome. Literally Metal Sun Lion. To a degree, I mean, I guess that makes Dusk main Necrozma as well, because again, that's also a lion. Sort of. I don't know any other cat Pokemon, really. I like those ones. Again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, those are the ones I like. I like Shenpao, I like Solgaleo, Duskmane Necrozma, Incineroar, and they're pretty cool. I like them. Though it's impossible for a competitive player to like Incineroar. I like Incineroar as a Pokemon. As a competitive Pokemon, I hate Incineroar. Like, my relationship I have with Incineroar is the same way I feel about Rillaboom. As a Pokemon, I love it. As a competitive player, I hate going up against it. It's one of those things that unless you are, like, a competitive player, it's difficult to explain. Entei is more blind. Yes, all three of the beasts are cats, actually. Saber-toothed tiger, leopard, and lion. But I was never really a legendary beast person. My first generation was Generation 4. and they're kind of before my time, is really the way to sort of phrase it. That I didn't see the beasts, I didn't really see many Gen 3 and earlier Pokemon until well into my Unova journeys. And by then, they, really were just before my time, so I don't really have much of an attachment to them. I will say, I think the legendary beast I like the most probably is Entei. And mostly that comes from I freaking hate Stall, which is Suicune's bread and butter. And Raikou gets so many freaking moves. Like, we are talking about a legendary Pokemon that gets Calm Mind, that gets Aura Sphere, that gets Weather Ball, that gets Scald, and is an electric type. Yes, Raikou still gets access to Scald. One of the best moves in existence. Something that bodies its biggest counter of ground. And if you want, you can tack it onto a snow team and it blasts through other ground types. Things like Garchomp or just things that are not weak to water and are ground. Yeah, little terrifying. Because like Entei is like just a general solid Pokemon. Like it's not super great, but it's not bad because it gets like Sacred Fire now, which is like actually pretty heckin' good. That's pretty heckin' good if I do say so. I have 720 Happy Woos. Oh yeah, but have you ever received 999 Happy Dust, Reeves? I've actually capped out my Happy Dust many times, and it was fantastic for a whole bunch of item printing. Alright, so when this sandwich ends, we're going to open up the Union Circle for the next Union Circle. Just remember the one rule of the Union Circle, and we'll be all sailing good. Vente. Exactly. And again, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like, subscribe for more. There will be another shiny giveaway coming up in possibly a few weeks. The Rayquaza is still up for grabs. Something to look forward to. Alright, there is no more shinies. So we finished that first outbreak with a grand total of 1 shiny. Our shiny... Yo! No good attack Grimer! I do love getting no attack shinies. Hates to lose. Oh, we're gonna get along fantastic, Grimer. We're gonna get along fantastic. Alright. Alright, let's save the game and open up the next Union Circle. I'm gonna go... Actually, I have to unlock the door. Number 41, and still remember that. Yep. I may change around the placement of it, because I do announce what the number is before the thing happens, to sort of prevent people from DCing immediately if it does roll on something that isn't number 41. But forming up the Union Circle, Gunga is pretty much a setup for comp. Pretty sure it's Calm Mind Vinte. Yeah, Entei does get Calm Mind. Yeah, Entei's biggest thing that holds it back is just that it does not get access to good moves in general. Its stat line and its move pool do not line up very well. It's got a very special move pool, but its stats are very physically focused. We have returned with the water. Once again, hydrate or dihydrate. Drink water, if only to outlive your enemies. And remember, the one rule of Union Circles. if someone is shiny hunting, stay dispersed. Do not come close to another person if they are shiny hunting, unless it is for the picture, for a group photo, or otherwise permission is given. That is the one rule, and if any violation of that happens, the Union Circle will be disbanded. Is that clear? Alright, let's go fly back. We do a little flying. We're going to be going over to that oddish outbreak again. And let's go do some hunting. Starting a new shiny living dex using only luxury balls. I wish you the best of luck on that, lady. I wish you the best of luck. Oh, nice work. Got a photo. We do a little flying. It's very therapeutic. I like this. Like, I do like the speed of the flight. It's not too fast that you just whip by everything, but it's not too slow. So, they did a very good job of balancing out the mobility of flight without making it a joke for people to shiny hunt with flying, because I will forever think the main reason they took flying out of the base game and added it in only later. Hey, thank you very much for the subscribe, Captain Cuddles. That's a top tier name. Top tier name. Like, I think that the main reason they took out flying as a, like, perma power from the base game is just because of how people exploited flying in Legends Arceus to just shiny hunt, and they wanted to avoid a repeat of that happening. So, they added in a few, not necessarily like caveats, but like a few limiters on that, which I will say was a good idea. I like that they did that. Alright, picnic. Alright. It is time to picnic. We're gonna go for another poison type encounter power sandwich. Let's make one. Let's get cooking. Flying on Megalodon or ass. Well, see, here's the problem with that, though, Metal War. That would necessitate the return of Megas. Which I'm not ready to deal with Primal Groudon PTSD again. I'm not ready to deal with that thing coming back and once again haunting my nightmares. That thing still haunts my nightmares with Precipice Blades, even as regular Groudon in doubles. Primal Groudon coming back would just be like, no. Yeah, like, it's very telling that when it came to Primal Groudon, there were 3 counters. Getting Primal Kyogre under its own weather, a regular Rayquaza with Waterfall, and another Primal Groudon. There was a legitimate strategy that people would bring. I think it was like 10% of all teams would actually use this. Was they would bring in a non-Primal Groudon with a choice band that was specifically meant to survive the other, it was specifically made to survive a Primal Groudon Precipice Blades, because it was not weak to Precipice Blades, despite the differing defensive stat. But its own Precipice Blade, despite the lower offensive stat, would one-shot the Primal Groudon. So it would do mostly comparable damage to the Primal Groudon, but it wouldn't be itself taken out. That was how valuable Primal Groudon as a Pokemon was, that 10% of the player base would use a non-Primal Groudon as a bait and kill set. And then the funniest evolution of the shenanigans to counter Primal Groudon was Flying EMZ Murkrow. Yes. Oh, goes up slightly. Yes. Another strategy to take down Primal Groudon was bringing in a Murkrow holding not a Focus Edge Murkrow, not a Honchkrow, was bringing a Murkrow holding a Flying EMZ against Primal Groudon. And then use Flying EMZ Mirror Move, which gives you a +1 to your attack, and then uses a Z move version of whatever the last move the target used. So Murkrow would use a +1 physical attack Tectonic Rage of Precipice Blades against the Primal Groudon. It was incredibly baity. It was incredibly niche. But it worked. Because that is how brain dead Primal Groudon was. You would send in Primal Groudon and just click Precipice Blades. It was horrifying.
I'm making a periodically flying, not nice.
I know. But I look for any chance to bring up that Primal Groudon story of the Murkrow just because it's funny. Yeah, I mean, flying on Mega Latios and Latias was pretty neat, but I think it's one of those things that it wasn't really necessary. Because, like, you can immediately go from a menu like, okay, well, I just want to fly here. You know, it was a nice little mini game, but it wasn't like there were Pokemon that were exclusively locked into Sky Zone. I think the Pokemon is Shinshao. Let's go check. No, it's not Shinshao. Yeah, that sounds like Venonat. Which would actually be doubly good because we need to catch a poison type. Because, like, I remember in Pokemon Ranger, there were a lot of Pokemon that were available only in the sky that you had to use a Staraptor from fly to place to place. It was like, that was a really cool way of doing the flying. You know, it was a very neat minigame to fly around, but it also was a little bit not necessary. But it was still very cool, nonetheless. Savannah, right by the Savannah Zone. Sounds good. Sounds like a delight. Full time. Pickaninny. Oh, he's already clicking Pickaninny. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, like, flying mechanics in the various games, I think that there's probably ways of doing something akin to what they did with the flying mechanics in the future games. But I also do think it may not necessarily be something that's a bit needed. Because they've been removing a lot of mechanics that weren't necessary. They've gotten rid of HMs, which thank God they finally got rid of HMs completely. They've been doing a lot of, like, player convenience systems. Your Primal Groudon may sound to me like Zygarde's got 1,000 arrows. The thing is, you gotta remember, Primal Groudon has a 180 physical attack. Yeah, as opposed to Zygarde, which is, like, I think a base 100 physical attack. Yeah, I actually think because of the difference in attacking stats and the difference in move powers of 1,000 Arrows and Precipice Blades, a Primal Groudon Precipice Blades is twice as powerful as 1,000 Arrows or 1,000 Waves from Zygarde. I think. I could entirely be wrong on that. But it could be close just because of how insane the stat difference is. Yeah, those things give me nightmares. I gotta do some mix. Hey, another way you do though. Did that not take a while to find? Okay. I mean, Zygarde is more physically focused than specially focused, but it does get some mixed moves. I researched and studied Zygarde extensively. Sly Guy is quite a fan of using it in the EBL. So I had to study that thing in depth. It's weird. When you don't want to find them, you can never find them. But when you're not looking for them, it's all there ever is. Just like right now, I cannot find like a single Oddish. There's so few of them. Yeah, no, like Zygarde was just absolute. As I was like a primal ground, it was like absolutely unholy levels of terrifying. Yeah, it's like it. There were some megas that were fairly tame. Like Mega Pidgeot was definitely one of the more tame megas, but it's things like Mega Pidgeot also gave way to things like Mega Mawile, which. Fun fact, Mega Mawile, if you back calculate its huge power boosted attack stat, where its base physical attack stat is 105. If you go through all the calculations, you apply that to its true stat, and then you backwards calculate for a effective base stat total with pure power, or huge power, not pure power. Its effective base physical attack stat is 260. For further context, Mega Mewtwo X's physical attack stat is like 195. Compared to 260. Well, I believe what actually the numbers worked out to, if you're doing a level 50 calculation or you're doing a level 100 calculation, 257 to like 259.3. Because I did do that back calculation. Like that took a while to do that back calc. But the difference in numbers was so close they can be considered one and the same number. It's kind of terrifying, like that's how big those stats are, because people don't really think about it like that, where if you apply it to the base stats and you back calculate, any power boosting ability or field condition is not linearly scaled to the base stat total. Base stats and true stats do not scale linearly. A good rule of thumb is if something does say increases stats by, you know, whatever percentage, just tack on an extra like 50% to whatever that percentage boost is, and that's still going to be an undercount. So, like, something like Mega Charizard, Mega Charizard X. You would calculate the effective base physical attack stat of it using any move boosted by Tough Claws. You would not multiply its attack stat by 35. You would instead multiply its attack stat by 35 times 1.5, which is about... what, 50? About 52. And then you multiply that 1.52 by its base physical attack stat. And that's still an undercount. Because the one thing I found is the lower the stat total, the higher the boost is. Something like a Azumarill, if you apply huge power to it and then you back calculate, its base 50 attack stat actually works out to something like 150. Which is on par with Groudon's physical attack stat. And again, base 50 attack stat starting, effective ending base 150. And then for the Mega Mawile, 105 works out to 260. Has no one done an egg? Yeah, I can reroll the egg quest. Like, stats are freaking terrifying when it comes to Pokemon. Give Pokemon a nice washing. You know, numbers of everything. Got a team with potential. Roaring. Alola Moon. A Roaring Moon, a Ninetales, Glowbro, Blaziken, Revoroom, and Lantern? Interesting. What's the lantern for? Very curious. But yeah, no, it's like base stats are kind of terrifying. True special defense stat on an AVT tar in sand. Yeah, that I don't really think I'd be able to calculate off the back of the envelope. But that's kind of an insane one. Because the calculations I used were when something is maxing out its stats, not... Because when it comes to something like a Mega Mawile, you are going Adamant 252 on that Mawile. You're not investing like only 100 EVs into there. You're going nature. You're going nature. You're going. Well, then again, the nature doesn't really factor in as heavily because there's actually a factor to remove the nature. But yeah, something like that. Let me get it. Like, again, a good example is I back calculated the effective base physical defense of a Glaceon in snow. Where I was like, oh yeah, Glaceon's like base physical defense is like what, 110? But oh yeah, effectively it'll have a base physical defense of like 165. And I went through, I did all the math. Effective physical defense of a Glaceon in snow. Like 198. It was either 198 or 189. I think it was 189. Yeah. It's terrifying. Let's actually go check what Tyranitar's base stats are. Because I'm actually curious on that. For water and for fire, water, and flying types. Interesting. Oh, Ditto Coastal Biome. Alright, I can take a side quest away from this for a little bit. I will do what searching I can for the Ditto. But I will still be trying to shiny hunt around here. Yeah, I'm gonna check all of the Ditto block spawn locations around where I am. So, do not venture over here. I have this area locked down mostly. I kind of want to see what Tyranitar stats for that would be. Okay, not seeing a Ditto. Yes, no Ditto around here. Oh, right, I can get Seviper around here, too. I forgot about that. That's, again, another shiny hunt for eventually doing. Seviper's one of the few Pokemon in base Paldea I still haven't gotten a shiny of yet. And that's a heckin' thing right there we gotta get eventually. But we're working on it. We are slowly working on it. Alright. Oh, yeah, someone's already covering this one. I'll just do a quick flyover. Alright, does not look like there's any Ditto here. Yep, everything looks good around here. Back to the place with the outbreak. I still find it hilarious we found one shiny already and it wasn't even an outbreak boosted one. Skull, Thunderbolt, Rest, and Sleep Talk. I think you might want Protect on there. Rest Talk in VGC is not the best. You generally want something with Protect on there. Like Protect with leftovers. I was here the whole time, just lurking. It is funny that Lantern is still one of the few recipients of Scald, though. It does legitimately help it, because it doesn't really have the stats to go heavyweight with things. But I do find that funny. Let's go see. Tyranitar. I always spell Tyranitar's name wrong. Honestly, it's like, interesting. But if you're going up against a Gastrodon, which I know people have been bringing Gastrodon a bit more just to counter Urshifu, that could be problematic, as well as Ursaluna, because then it would actually proc Ursaluna's Guts ability. There may be things to worry about with that. Tyranitar. Let's roughly try and calculate what a Tyranitar's effective BST with a Sand AV would be. Because I did run Sand AV. I did for a while run a Sand Assault Vest Gigalith back in the days of Sword and Shield. And that thing freaking face tanked a G-Max Life Orb Venusaur Vine Lash and survived with enough health that it, like, survived the Vine Lash damage, which is like 1/6 of your HP. Like, that thing just refuses to die. I freaking love it. I love Gigalith. I've been running Sand AV Colossal. Let's go see. Tyranitar's base special defense is 100. Okay, that actually makes the calculation relatively easy. So, functionally in Sand, it would have... Actually, we could kind of approximate that with the Mawile stat. Because... Let's see. We can do about a 1.75 times 1.75. Yeah, that's about... Oh, wow, it's 3 times. Okay. Yeah, that's about a 300 base defense. Special defense, functionally. Which, pretty heckin' chunky for that, because it's Tyranitar also. Now, that's not including... I mean, that's not accounting for if you're going and investing in there. But if you're investing in that thing, that Tyranitar is basically uncrackable. That's like Blissey level defenses right there. Which is amazing. If only in Scarlet. Fire flying types. If only it was in Scarlet. No, Gigalith is not in Scarlet Violet. Tyranitar is, though. Which, I will be honest, as much as I love Gigalith, Tyranitar is by far the better Sand user. The only reason that Gigalith ever really had a life of its own in VGC was there was a significant stretch of time back in Gen 7 where Tyranitar was not legal because it was not in the Alola Dex. This was, I believe, base Sun and Moon. So you couldn't use Tyranitar in VGC. But Gigalith was. So people would go, if they wanted a Sand user, they'd go with Gigalith. Yo! It is the Oddish! Oddish is a fan of the sand. Hey, bros and Joes, how you doing? He's one of the best giants ever. I agree, Timmy B. But welcome in. If you guys haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. And can one of the mods go grab Mr. Bros and Shows link, please? What about Hippo? Hippowdon is not a rock type, so it does not receive the special defense bonus from Sand. You would need to terrestrialize it into rock type in order to get the Sand bonus, which could be good, but it's a pretty big cost to terrestrialize into rock. Because rock is generally seen as one of the worst defensive types, especially not good for terrestrializing into. Kayla, this is the third sandwich we have done for Oddish, and we just now found our first Oddish shiny. We are not in any way spoon-fed. So what could Chunky Uninvested teach our survive a Focus Blast? It might. Heck off, telemarketers. I believe an AV Sand Tyranitar would survive a Focus Blast. It would depend on the user, though. A non-stab Focus Blast, I think the Tyranitar would definitely be able to survive that. Probably even without needing the Assault Vest. But if it's something, say, like Iron Valiant using Focus Blast, you would probably need the AV and the Sand to survive against that. But Tyranitar would really go down to something like that, kind of an Iron Valiant anyway. So it's a little bit, not like superfluous, but like it's almost a bit irrelevant whether something like that would one-shot it, because you wouldn't be taking down Tyranitar anyway. You wouldn't be taking down the Iron Valiant anyway. The Tyranitar would just basically auto-lose. Tried to yell. I have tried to tell the Oddish to go away. I have requested it. I don't think the blocks can be in the labyrinth. I believe they all have to be above ground. So I don't think you need to worry about that. But yeah, no, it's a pretty heckin' thing. But things like Gengar, you'd be able to survive stuff from that. You'd be able to survive a Focus Blast from something like a Gengar, possibly. I would need to go do the damage calcs for that, though. Oh, dang, usually works for me, I guess. They like me more. Well, that makes complete sense, lady. Because, things don't like me. Which makes sense. That math checks out. That math does indeed very check out. We need 2 more shiny Oddish. We need 2 more shiny Oddish. Question is, when will they be? Oh, so super sparkly. We gotta find it. We gotta find the little odd little plant. But it refuses to do a thing. Yeah. I was taken from the group. Oh, did you DC? Did your internet DC on us? Okay, yeah, it seems Gisbello got DC'd. The Oddish dance. No, there's no such thing as an Oddish dance. But there is no little odd little plant that just refuses to want to sparkle. I did kind of debate picking up something like Vileplume for the EBL, but I was like, maybe not. Maybe potentially not for that. Because I had my eyes set on other things. I also already had a grass type on my team. So I did that. I have high hopes for Toedscool. I have a feeling Squidward will be most entertaining. But that all remains to be seen. Ah, freaking Gloom, you threw me off. I thought you were a shiny Alolan Grimer. There was much sadness to be had. Have you tried that? No, I haven't tried threatening the Oddish. We found threatening the shinies doesn't work. But I will absolutely, without question, purge this outbreak into oblivion when this stream ends. How much and where would you need to invest in to survive CC? And a miss. Oh, a close combat would one-shot you anyway. Like, a close combat would game end a Tyranitar. Because it's... Close combat does not interact with the special defense boost from Sand, and it doesn't interact with the AV either. I'm out of ideas then. Yeah, I mean, I've been out of ideas. We just try and brute force it. We just beat our head into a wall until the wall yields. We still got one more Ditto to find, though. When this sandwich runs out, I will be... Okay, 5 minutes left. I'll go look. I'll help look for the Ditto. I mean, I will continue to look for the Ditto when this sandwich runs out. I have a feeling that this is going to be my favorite spot to shiny hunt in the entirety of the Indigo disc, is just... You get the Drift Veil music. You get the slightly touched up Drift Veil music. Not as good as the Castelia City music, because that is just true ported over Castelia City's music. But it's a close second. Maybe put a disguise on. Ooh, that potentially could work. That could indeed work. You never know until you try. Wait, that is the vibe? Join special defense, join defense, 4 HP, plus maybe. But I feel like in that case, you'd want to go for maximum special defense to survive as many special attacks as possible. But, I mean, you could also go for body press shenanigans. But I still think there is no way you're not going to get game ended by a close combat, because it's close combat. And generally, the physical fighting types have a significantly higher physical attack than special attack. So I think you're not really going to be doing too well against a close combat. You might be able to live with a Choppleberry, but at that point you don't have the Assault Vest anymore. As well as I feel like you're kind of sacrificing a lot of utility on the Tyranitar to go all bulk on it. Because then you can't run moves like Dragon Dance for setup, you can't run Protect. So there are some slight practicality issues you'd run into. Which that's always the razor's edge you gotta be balancing when it comes to competitive Pokemon, especially in VGC. There are some sets that can survive certain pretty risky attacks, but then you gotta consider, well, what are you giving up in order to survive those? You know, if you have a Tyranitar that's running Assault Vest and it can survive, you know, every close combat, not close, every Focus Blast or Aura Sphere in existence, but in doing so, you give up a lot of utility Tyranitar possesses, things like it's no longer able to use Stealth Rocks or no longer able to use Dragon Dance. Is it really worth the cost? Can't run Drain of the Break. Exactly, Metal War. That's exactly the thing. You're giving up a lot of things in order to have one specific thing survive. Your general utility options, which is no longer able to run. You know, it might work well in one hyper-specific situation, but is it actually winning that situation anyways? That's one of the reasons why, like, Iron Valiant kind of, like, completely takes out Tyranitar, but there's no world that Tyranitar wins Iron Valiant. So it's sort of a contingency that's not even worth accounting for because it just doesn't win. Playing Smash with the homies again. Fun, Blorb. Very fun. Sounds very delightful to be playing Smash Bros. Again. 1 minute, 45 seconds remaining. Ah, stupid deerling. I thought you were a shiny oddish. You stupid heckin' deerling. Actually, one of my least favorite Unova Pokemon, which is lucky because I love Unova. A lot of Unova stuff. There's very few Unova things I don't like. Yeah, tonight's gonna be fun. I'm probably gonna host another Union Circle after stream ends in the Discord. So if you want to join that, would recommend hopping in the Discord. !Discord will bring up a link to the Discord server. So that way you can join later. I'm probably going to be working on a couple of things in the background while doing that. So I may not be the most active. But I will do what I can when I do what I can. I mean, that's just YouTube being stupid. No need to worry about it, Omega. No need to worry. And again, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more. Tomorrow we will have some more Union Circles. Provided people follow the rules, we will continue to have the Union Circles. Alright. That is all of that sandwich. We got one shiny oddish out of it, which is more shiny oddish than we've gotten previously. So that was a win. Alright, let's go look for the rest of the Ditto blocks. Yeah, I think we're probably going to end off after we acquire the Ditto blocks. I got 7 homies in there. Makes sense. Sounds good. But now, where's those things? I'm gonna babble the internet's back in about 20 minutes. Sounds good, Blorp. Sounds good. The Comfey is gonna be a shiny we're gonna need to get eventually. Don't know how or where I'm gonna get Comfey. But that is... Okay, so there is... Okay, one's already been found here. Alright. Let's get looking. And no Ditto around here. So I believe the Ditto can only spawn on top of that thing, which there's not right now. The flying is just so good for finding the Ditto blocks. Without the flying, I feel like they probably wouldn't have the Ditto blocks. Or if they did, it would be substantially less Ditto blocks. Nope. No Ditto. No go on the Ditto. Welcome back, Wild. Welcome back. Alright, so there's nothing around here. No Dittos around. No Ditto, because all Pokemon names are already pluralized. Let's go fly up to the top of this place. See maybe if there's a thing all the way up here. What's that? Oh, Talonflame. That's what that is. Talonflame. Alright, this was good. We're making progress. Making gains. And any 1v1 special attacker was up. I feel like Tyranitar probably would win unless it's a fighting type. I mean, maybe not. Maybe Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant I know would hard win right there. I think in most cases, Tyranitar probably could come out the winner. But a large part of that is there's not many special fighting types. Again, Iron Valiant is kind of the one that would completely body it, but that's because Iron Valiant by typing just shrugs off anything T-Tar has. Lucario would get absolutely demoed by like things like Earthquake or Body Press. So and most Lucario actually go physical anyway. At that point, then Lucario is running on like Aura Sphere, which is very, very weak. So there's not really many. Yeah, and anything except Iron Valiant, I think T-Tar kind of wins that fight. But I need to look more into all of the fighting types by their special attack. Yeah, because Iron Valiant is just kind of hard to kill. Oh no, you're not shiny. What is my favorite type? Probably Dragon. Like I know a lot of people think probably Steel, but no, my favorite typing is actually Dragon. I do love my dragon types. Hey, nice work, Greaves! Alright, what are our quests? Bitter Sandwich, Canyon, In-Flight Steel, Polar, Ghost, Auto Battle, Flight, Defeat, Terrasilize to defeat. We're probably gonna be ending off soon. We are probably going to be ending off soon. So, would recommend saving your games, just in case. Again, join the Discord, if you would like to join the Discord. Tomorrow we're going to go live for some more Shiny Ants and Union Circles. It's going to be great. This was fun. I enjoyed this. Yeah, I think possibly. Well, you know, Iron Valiant has like a very, very solid physical defense, so Tornado would still lose to that. Yeah. Do we have to get a swimming Pokemon photo? I feel like we gotta get a swimming Pokemon photo. Thanks. No. I really hate all these options. I mean, let's go find someone to go raid. Thank you very much, friends. Thank you, everybody. We could not have done it without you. Okay, yeah, actually, while we're looking for the raid, we can actually have our Pokemon start doing some questy things, some side questy things. Let's look for a person to raid. Ooh, Riri. Ooh, Riri. Riri's an option. We haven't raided Riri in a while. You know? Let's go raid Riri. She's doing some Dynamax adventures for Shiny Lugia. All the way back in in Sword and Shield. And I am a fan of the days of Sword and Shield Dynamax Gen. So we're gonna go raid that. Oh, nice lady! Find the shiny seal. Fun. Go, String Cheese Man! Destroy! It's very, very fun just watching Goldango surfboard across everything. Also, unusual thing that's actually very good for materials grinding in the... Oh, Poplio. Yeah, like, surprisingly good material grind Pokemon. Tentacool. I did not realize that Tentacool Stingers are pretty substantially filling when it comes... I hate taking photos in the game. Yeah. The thing is, you need to do all the BBQ thingies. If you need to do all of those stupid things if you want to unlock the secret super final boss battle at the end of the Indigo disc. So I had to go upgrade it. But I wish there was a way of turning it off. You know, maybe they will make a way of turning it off. Maybe they'll make a way of turning it off. That's my one hope, is that there's a way of turning it off. One victory. Alright, good. Let's go for a sneak hit. We will do a sneak hit, and then we're going to end off. Bonk! Sorry, Paplio. Bonk. Waffle Paplio, what's going on, guard? I'm very. Oh, it actually has a different battle animation for if it's on water or not. That's neat. But yeah, let's go raid Riri. Alright, I will see you guys next time. Let's go. It was actually kind of funny. The thing almost looks like it says Riri in the link. I mean, a shiny seal is like significantly more noticeable than I would have expected. They stick out a lot more than you think.